Hey, thank you, Kathy. I'm having a good time. Yeah, what's really cool about what I've done on the channel on YouTube is that it's an all-around, all-inclusive. Generally, people are one specialty or another. Thankfully, I've been really blessed in that this is total life regeneration. So it can be whatever I want it to be. So I can have as much fun as I want, simultaneously sharing the information about mankind's diet and how to regenerate your body, but also at the same time how to tap into those things that are the most high. So I'm very fortunate as a person because life regeneration is total regeneration of the body, the heart, the mind, and the spirit. So it's a never-ending pathway. I want to thank everyone for listening today. I also have many people to thank for their constant support on the Life Regenerator channel. There's been a lot of challenges. The world is resistant sometimes to the simplicity of the truth. It's the hardest thing to get through is the truth. But anecdotally, I don't think there's anything I haven't seen reversed. Well, I'll tell you a story about a gentleman who I just got an invitation this morning to his party. His 200-pound weight loss party. He called me approximately 11 months ago, and he was viewing the videos on YouTube, and he had what we call a video marathon, because a lot of people, they get into it, they're like, this guy's kind of weird, but for some reason I got to keep watching. Well, anyways, he had a video marathon throughout the weekend. Well, as he was sitting there at about, I can't even remember what it was, 500 plus pounds, he was eating Swiss cheese rolled in beef, corned beef or something like that, watching my videos, and he called me up, or he left me an email, and I try to focus on the emergencies, of course, and when people tell me that they're dying, which in his case, he literally was dying. I called him up, and I told him what to do, and I said, hey, I'll just leave his name out, but his username on the YouTube is Raw Food for My Life. So anyways, he's having a party in about a month to celebrate 200 pounds weight loss and a total reversal of death. He's very much alive now, but he was my best student so far, because he went into the fridge and he took out all the death, the condiments, the canned foods, the meat, the cheese. He threw away several $1,000s worth of food, which in the long run is going to, of course, save him hundreds of thousands to get rid of that junk and get rid of that part of his life. He took it to the dump. He said, I didn't even put it in the garbage can outside. I took it to the dump so there would be no, temptation. Well, anyways, he went on a 100% raw food diet overnight, eating as much fruit, vegetables, and green juice as he wants. Now he started out just on the raw foods. I said just start eating fruits and vegetables today. So he did that. And a little bit while later he started juicing. Then after he was in the program for about 6 months, I sent him over. Well, first we got him on some detoxification herbs, and he started to really have some detoxification reactions, blood in the stool, and etc. That worried him a little bit. He called me and I said, no big deal. Blood in the stool is very common for people that are morbidly obese. Well, you should still check with your doctor or a natural practitioner, really, in that case. But anyways, then he went from the detox herbs, and that accelerated the detox quite a bit, getting the lymphatic system moving, cleaning out the bowels and whatnot. And then he went on a 20-day water fast where he proceeded to lose another 57 pounds. So in the course of less than a year, he has lost 200 pounds and totally reversed the path of his life. And that's just one story, one of the best. That's at the top of my mind because he's having a party in a couple weeks, and of course they invited me. You know, he gives me the credit for saving his life. I try to tell him it's not me. It's just I'm just a messenger. You know, I'm just a signpost for simplicity and common sense. You know, if anything, I am a dude of common sense that has just gotten uncommon because we live in a world that's based on profit instead of the truth. And us few weirdos out here that would put the truth before profit, you know, we get a little bashed up a little bit. You don't have letters by your name and you can't speak common sense. But the medical establishment so far hasn't really come to the conclusion that you can actually heal your body and eliminate diseases by cultivating health. Instead, there's a lot of symptom suppression, which we find never results in favorable occurrences in the end. So what we're trying to do is detoxify and regenerate cells, get rid of the obstructions that are causing so-called diseases, which really aren't diseases, but just obstructions in the flow of the life and health energy. I've heard of tumors being removed. Weight loss is huge. I mean, you can eat as much raw fruits and vegetables as you want, and you won't have the problems with the sagging skin because this fruits and vegetables regenerate the tissues. If you do the high protein diets, which are extremely dangerous in my opinion, then you might lose some weight because you'll increase your metabolic rate because of the acidosis, inflammation, irritation, and stimulation. You want to nourish, nurture, and have a dynamic type and cellular energy, but the sagging skin is less of a problem for the people, and the ability for the body to regenerate itself is very little understood, and the possibilities are infinite, you know, as far as reversing any kind of condition. I don't think there's anything I haven't seen reversed. Yeah, humans and the planet itself are 80% alkaline, 20% acid. Well, the human diet at this time is the exact opposite, 20% alkalizing, 80% acid. So we're backwards. Acidosis and congestion is a anionic condition. It's a bound up, tight condition where the acids accumulate in the body. So what we want to do is to eliminate the acids, is to alkalize the fluids, particularly the lymph and the blood fluids, which are the two main fluids in the body. So if you can alkalinize the blood and the lymph, then you can get, that's more of a cationic or catabolic or breaking down or dispersing type of environment so that things can flow. The desert is acid, okay? The desert is an acid environment. There's no life there. It's too dry, it's crusty, it's caked, it's too hot, it's inflamed. Now, an oasis where the rivers are flowing, the trees are green, there's lots of plants and butterflies and birds and animals and grass and trees and rain and sun, all in a nice mixture. So the acid is very hot, and the acid accumulation is what causes the obstructions in the body. So we want to alkalize with celery juice, cucumber, apples, spinach, watermelons, cantaloupes, pears, apples, grapes. All those create a dispersing type energy so that the body can begin to release inflamed tissues. Inflammation equals overweight. Inflammation, the inflammation, the cellulite, for example, is just acids trapped in water and cholesterol, making you have the cottage cheese butt. So they do all these things and they try to vibrate it away and skin cream it away, and it'll never work, because you got to get in there and release the inflammation and the toxicity, which is simply stored acids, and that's what's causing all the diseases. So then you get the pharmaceutical drugs. Well, guess what? There's more acidosis. So you're really just, from acidosis, you're adding more acidosis, so that instead of having these symptoms, now you're putting in another toxin. Generally, some medication is favorable in emergency situations, but 95% or more of medication is just making you worse. There's situations where, to keep yourself alive, to get stabilized, if someone's going to kill themselves, you get them stabilized in some kind of psychotropic, and then you try to get them the help that they need through generally the diet, removing wheat or whatever. But the point is that we want to drink water, get enough rest, be kind, find loving environments. All those are alkaline forming. And then we want to drink the leafy green vegetable juices and eat the in-season fruits, and start flushing all those acid wastes, which are giving us tumors and arthritis, overweight. It's all the same. There's only one direction to go. It's so simple that it blows my mind that these dudes that spend so much money on education, but then again, there's no money in it, because who makes money off spinach juice? Nobody, except a lowly spinach farmer, and maybe the grocery store makes a few pennies too. Nobody gets rich off celery juice. As all the pills in the world are nothing compared to a glass of freshly pressed celery juice. So alkalize the body to eliminate the inflammation, which is causing you the pain, stiffness, overweight, headaches, because the acids that accumulate in the colon are just the headaches. The heavy metals accumulate. How do we get rid of the heavy metals? Cilantro, parsley, herbs, and fruits. Those are my two favorite foods, which don't really heal the body. You just quit making yourself sick. Bread and meat and milk and all those things that are just dead foods that don't metabolize. The fiber, once heated, does not have that magnetic ability anymore to latch onto acids as it passes through the colon. That's why the raw foods have the living fiber. The fiber in the fruits and vegetables latches onto junk. I call it the broom. It just sweeps by, literally latches onto junk and pulls it out. You want to keep your colon clean. You want to keep your lymphatic system moving. And how do we do that? With alkaline and alkalinizing plants, vegetable matter. It's so simple. Drink green juice, eat fruits, live. Yeah, well, they put the parsley on the plate because that's the only sane thing in the restaurant. You go in there and you get this pile of mushy gush, and then they put a little piece of parsley on the plate, and that's the only thing that's even worth a hoot. I would say, hey, get rid of all this slop, because I won't be able to poop tomorrow if I eat this, and then it'll rancidify my body. So just bring me a plate of parsley, and I'll just sit there and eat parsley. You know what I mean? Because parsley is extremely beneficial for the adrenals. Most people have adrenal burnout. We're too busy chasing down some false dream of happiness, trying to get more stuff to fulfill an emptiness that can only be filled by the inward journey. So the herbs are going to strengthen, heal, alkalinize. The herbs are like tissue specific. They know what to do. Nature, God is, very intelligent, and they put the plants on the ground. The dandelions that people call weeds, that's one of the most powerful healing plants in the world. And it's all over the place, and people spray it and call it a weed and want to get rid of it. If you want to get rid of it, call me up, I'll come to your house, and I will take the dandelions and I will juice them and I will eat them in salads, and my teeth will be strong, my liver will stay clean, my blood will stay purified. I mean, the dandelions are the hit. The cilantro, heavy metal detoxification. Kale is highly mineralizing to keep the joints strong and the teeth strong. So I like a good balance of fruit for energy, brain, nerve regeneration, and also the green plants, which, I mean, look at a plant. People are always worried about sunburning and all that. Like, I crossed the United States on my bicycle in 100-degree heat for 2 months, and I never even got burned one time, and I hardly ever wore a shirt. Why? Because my diet is all plants. It's the chlorophyll that keeps the plants from burning. So if you eat enough plant food, you never get a sunburn, unless you're one of those people from Norway or something that has pale skin. But anyways, the more green plants that you eat, the more impervious you'll be to the heat and the cold. The plants adapt your body to the conditions that which those plants grow in. That's why I tend to be, as the more I go on the fruits, the more that I am inclined to go to the more warmer environments. But there's a lot of tricks in my DVDs to where you can learn about how to stay on raw living foods that are more warming, like the nuts or the squashes or the root vegetables or the kale. Those are more warming type foods, where the watermelon, the cucumber, and the celery are more like cooling foods. So there's a lot to this, and yet it's quite simple, except that our world makes it a little bit difficult because of the social structures we have in place, where you're the weird one if you actually want to take care of yourself and be wise, and you have to eat a specific diet in order to feel good and to be able to serve mankind and to continue on and have a strong spiritual practice. So, that's why I'm trying to build up a community of weirdos who can support each other and actually think, hey, this makes sense to me. I was a raw food guy for 2 years before I knew there was another raw foodist on the planet. I thought I was weird. I never said anything to no one. I just ate soaked nuts and seeds, vegetables, fruits, and I drank goat's milk because I had that mentality about the protein. And eventually I had to give up the goat's milk. But, the plants are for the healing, and the fruit is for the energy, basically, to sum it up. Well, I'll be honest with you, Kathy. This is not my area of expertise, and generally not even my focus, only because I got into this for my own selfish purposes of actually healing myself, feeling better, which I found to be the #1 way to make the planet better. Because I'm still just as guilty as anybody. I drive a truck. I mean, I use packaging and things like that. But so really, I speak of it from an individual perspective. I've got a kind of a strange way of looking at things, and where, if the individual woke up, we would need a lot less. The simplicity of what happens is, as you cleanse and detoxify, I think that you become aware of how wonderful it is to spend the afternoon alone doing nothing, and that's very low on the consumer scale. You don't really feel like going out and buying clothes or like you need to go out and consume big fancy meals or have fancy stuff, which I have nothing against. But as you cleanse and detoxify, you begin to appreciate simplicity. Most of us as human beings, we have to keep ourselves distracted. Well, as soon as we wake up to the inward journey, no longer does it become necessary to continually distract ourselves with the new latest titillation that our society is selling us. And the most bare essentials become actually even too much sometimes. I don't know if that would happen to everyone, but my life, I've given away everything so many times, because it's just, you don't really want anything. What you really want is more freedom. And you find that all the consumer products are really just, they're a burden because you have to maintain them, worry about them. Now, not everyone's going to be that way. It isn't the stuff itself, it's how it's looked at. So some people are more grounded and they're going to have no problem, maintaining all their stuff. It doesn't cause them stress at all. I'm more of a traveler, nomad. I go from town to town helping people get healthy. So a lot of excess stuff is a little too much for me. The impact of the environment, I'll just tell you real quick, because like I said, it's not my area of expertise, but this is what I've noticed. I traveled across the U.S. on my bicycle, and I thought to myself, when I saw these huge fields of cows, I thought to myself, if they took this field and took these cows out of here and planted fruit trees, there would be so much more food than the human beings could possibly consume. And I thought to myself, meat is a very inefficient food for the human dietary because of the resources that it takes to grow 1 pound of meat could be used so much more easily and create so much more health and energy and economy if they were to plant fruit trees. Other than that, I mean, we could go on and on about that. I'm not really a planet saver. I'm more like save the planet by saving yourself and realizing that, nothing is really wrong with the planet. Because this place is a place where we come to grow and to gain the spiritual lessons, So yes. Yeah, can I just say one more thing to the listeners? Yeah, I would say don't stress out. Don't try to worry about going 100% raw or anything crazy like that. Just go to the grocery store and buy some fruit. And then every day say to yourself, you know what? I know I can't do 100% raw right now, but I am going to just try and make some green juice tomorrow. I'm going to make a green juice or make a smoothie, and I'm just going to eat some fruits and some fresh fruits and vegetables tomorrow. Just start out with that. And see how much you enjoy it, and then just add a little bit more all the time. Pretty soon you'll be just flourishing on a diet that is high in fruits, fresh fruits and vegetables. Organic is the best. Thanks, Kathy. Thank you, everyone. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
I'm Kathy Davis, and you would normally hear me as host of Heart of Mine on Mondays at 1 p.m. But today we've been offering a special program so that we can learn to regenerate our health, lose weight, energize our lives, and harmonize our spirit with nature through the wonders of a raw food diet. And we are pretty much at the end of this program. We've got another half hour, And I actually have another recipe to share with you from the DVD, and we can go with another clip. But before that, I need to encourage you to make those phone calls in this last segment of today's program. The number is 212-209-2950. And Dan talked very passionately today about his desire to really have an impact to help people change their lives, and he's been able to do that through this work. And we're asking you to have an impact on your own life with these DVDs. We're offering a raw food package at the $365 level. It's $1 a day pack, and you receive 4 DVDs. And those DVDs include Dan's favorite raw recipes. And this is a special DVD that allows you to prepare healthy, delicious foods, how to work with nuts and seeds, how to prepare sauces and soups and even pasta. It's amazing. 212-209-2950. Of course, you can receive that, Dan's favorite raw recipes, for your pledge of $100. Also in the $365 pack, the raw food pack, you can receive Lose 1 Pound a Day the Healthy Way with fruits and vegetables.